Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Binta, and if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and also don't forget to like this video. But if you're an old subscriber, thank you so much for tuning in once again, and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about the struggles of raising your children as Africans in the diaspora. Okay, and also this is in connection with the issue or the Gambian boy that killed his mom in New York. Okay, so if you guys don't already know, there's a 22-year-old Gambian boy that shot his mom because of unemployment. He's been unemployed for a long time, and he had an argument with his mom over him being lazy, according to the mom, and he got angry and shot his mom, and the mom is dead right now. So it's very, very sad and unfortunate for this mother to die in the hands of his child, just like that. You know, very sad and unfortunate. And according to reports, this is not their first argument, and this is not the first time that the boy had threatened his mom or threatened to kill his mom. So basically, several times the boy has threatened to kill his mom, and so sad and unfortunate, finally he did it. Okay, and then according to reports as well, and according to investigations, they find out that the guy is mentally unstable. Okay, but his mental instability have been known for a while. Okay, so the police had been called on this particular boy several times when he had an argument with his mom, and a few months ago he threatened that he was going to kill him. According to reports, again, the case was dropped because the mom was not cooperating with officers. I don't know, but today I just wanted to maybe touch base on some of the struggles that African parents face bringing up a child in the diaspora compared to bringing up your child in Africa. So if you're African, you already know what I'm talking about, that children, how we bring up kids in Africa is very, very different. Okay, in the diaspora here, children are given so much power and right, especially over their parents, I would say. That does not mean that in Africa children don't have right, but you know, because they are kids, there is a limitation to what they can do and get away with it. Okay, compared to here, where children can do like the craziest things, and sometimes you can't even scold them in front of people because then somebody is out there thinking that you're abusing your child. Now, I'm not condoning abuse in any way. I am not condoning beating in any way, because I know that as Africans, like, we have gone through like smacks and beatings because we've been stubborn, or you know, we did one thing or another. And yeah, I know that sometimes some African parents like do abuse kids based on how they treat them, but most times the way Africans will bring up their child is for the betterment of that child, for the most part. Okay, like no matter how you see it. Okay, but here, like, you can barely even say certain things to your child or shout at your child for the scare of what your child might go to school and say something to his or her teacher, and that can get you in trouble, because then you have the police officers in your house asking you questions, or child services in your house trying to monitor what goes in and out of your child, what goes in and out of your house. Okay, so for that reason, it's very, very difficult for us as parents. Yes, I'm a parent, because even though I'm a young one, but I am a parent too. So it's very difficult for African parents, and that is some of the reasons why you would see some people will send their kids back home especially if the child is a stubborn one. Okay, if the child doesn't listen, if the child is stubborn and don't ever listen to what you say, then most people will just say, you know what, let me send him back home so that he can learn the culture, so that he can learn certain things the African way, and then bring him back when he's matured enough. Okay, so even though it can be very, very difficult and frustrating, because it's a huge sacrifice, I as a parent, I know how it feels, like just trying to staying away from your child for a year or 2 or 3. You know, it can be difficult, but sometimes looking at the situation, it can be worth it. You know, some things are worth doing, because at the end of the day, there's a saying that says, if you leave your child to be mannerless, or if you don't show your child the right way, if that child grows up, they're going to make you cry first before they make anybody else cry. You know, and so people or parents tend to be very mindful of that saying, because it's very true. If you don't listen to that saying too, like if your child grows up to be bad or be something else, you are going to cry first, obviously. So yeah, for that reason, you'll see a lot of Africans, they will send their kids back home for some African training or African upbringing. And yeah, and secondly, a man figure. I feel like a man figure is important in every household. You know, that father figure is very important in our lives as women, in our lives as children, in our lives as a family. You know, sometimes there has to be that man that the kids will look at and not be scared of. I don't like that just frown their faces or get their kids scared whenever they're around, you know, but that person that they can look at, you know, and at least know that, okay, I am restricted from doing this particular thing, because if I do it, my dad is going to be angry at me, or if I do it, this man is going to be angry at me, or my uncle is going to get angry at me, you know. And it's very important, even though sometimes it doesn't work with every child, but I'm just saying that it is as important, you know, especially when bringing up a boy child. I don't believe that a woman or a mother can teach their boy or male child how to be a man. I think that responsibility definitely is with the men. Okay, and the men will play a better role. Not saying that women cannot play better, because there are single moms who have raised children, who have raised kids who have grown up to be amazing people, great people today. So it can happen, of course. But that man figure, that father figure, is very important in the lives of our children, especially our boy kids, or our male children. Okay, sometimes women may say, okay, I can raise my child, you know, he's a boy, he's a man, I can raise him to be a good man, I can raise him to be a better man, I can raise him to be the man that I want him to be. But it can be very difficult as a woman, whether ladies or single moms say it or not, it is very difficult. And I know they would wish they have that father figure for their child to balance things and make it a lot easier on their side as well. Okay, sometimes it is a man who can teach a boy how to be a man, if that makes sense. Yes, it is a man who can teach a boy how to be a man. As a woman, I don't know, like you can teach your child how to be a great person, how to be a gentleman, but trying to teach that child how to be a man the same way a man would teach that child how to be a man are gonna be very different. You know, it is not going to be as stressful as a woman teaching that child. So that father figure is very important and very unfortunate, and it's so unfortunate that this boy, I believe the mom is a single mom, but then he has uncles around as well, so which even makes it harder. And another thing is that being in the diaspora, we find it very difficult to connect with our children sometimes, okay? Because here, you know, you have to work. Sometimes you have to go to school, you have to work, you have to do, you know, other things outside of those two things as well. So trying to sit and have like some good communication with your children as a mother, from a mother to a child, or from a father to a child, can be very difficult depending on your financial situation or financial issues, you know. And if you know, like, you have to work here to be able to feed yourself, you have to work here to be able to fend for yourself, your family, and also pay your bills. So sometimes people would work long hours to make ends meet, and they cannot be blamed for that because they are providing for that family. So they gotta do what they gotta do. These are some of the struggles that parents do go through. These are some of the struggles that they go through. You want to spend time with your child. You want to bring up your child. You want to be there. You want to know who his friends are. You want to see who he's going out with. You want to know who he's talking to. But you can't because you're out there walking every single day. So these things sometimes can lead to kids just going astray because they don't have somebody to lead them or guide them through the right path, or guide them through the right path. So it's very difficult as an African parent, especially where we are coming from as Africans. In Africa, anybody can bring up your child for you if you're not around. If you go to work, somebody else will make sure that child is doing the right thing. Somebody else will make sure that child is being guided towards the right things. But here, it's not impossible, but it's difficult. And a lot of people struggle with that. A lot of African parents do struggle with that. This incident is a very sad one and unfortunate. And it's sad that this child is going to be the one to take his own mother's life. With how precious a mother's love is. With how precious a mother is in a child's life. With all the pains that mothers go through by just bringing up a child or bringing a child into this world. For that same child to be the one to take your life is very sad and unfortunate. And I know wherever he is right now, he's going to be regretting this for the rest of his life. For sure. I'm going to leave the link down below so you guys can read the full report. But from the report that I read, his uncles or one of his uncles is like wishing him to be in jail for the rest of his life, you know, because he believes that the child is not mentally unstable, that he's okay, and all this is just being rude or, you know, arrogant or something like that, you know. And I understand his frustration, but sometimes us Africans, we don't tend to believe in mental illness except we see somebody take off their clothes walking out naked. Now that is a problem that we have also as Africans. We tend to think that only people that are drinking dirty water outside, somebody sleeping on the streets naked, somebody picking up food in the trash can are the only mad people. But no, we have a lot of people that have mental illness, that are mentally unstable, but are outside walking like me and you, wearing decent clothes, looking decent and smart, but they are not mentally stable up there. So as Africans, I want us to use this incident and try to recognize those issues and those people and help them, because it is help they need from us. With our help and support, we can probably prevent incidents like this from happening again. So many people are mentally unstable that their family members don't even know about. We just look at them and say they're rude, they're arrogant, they're mannerless, when in fact something is actually wrong with those people, when in fact those people are not in the right sense of mind. And the fact that this boy has threatened his mom several times should say something. I don't know why officials didn't take care of this the right time, because it was very obvious that something is wrong with him for threatening his mom several times. I mean, just a few months ago, The boy threatened his mom. Nothing has been done. And finally he did. We need to be very careful some of the things that we just let slide. We need to be very careful with the things that people say and we think they're stupid or they're rude or they're joking. Not everything is meant to be a joke. And as an African child, standing up to fight with your mother, to argue with your mother, and even threaten to kill them says something about that person. 90% of African kids will never do that because respect is paramount in our African culture. So it was obvious that something is wrong with the boy. And I understand that his family is very frustrated and angry at him. But I pray that God give them the heart to love him, forgive him, and help him. Because wherever his mom is, I know that she has already forgiven her child. Like I said, a mother's love is incomparable. And as long as he's in pain and he's not in peace and he's suffering, I don't think his mom will be able to rest the right way and in peace. And I also pray that God guides them in these tough times, because these are difficult times for that family. But let's consider some of the things that also may have led to this. A lot of it that I've mentioned could have led to something like this. And mental health is a serious issue. Very serious issue, especially in our Black community, in our African community. But we don't tend to take these things seriously, especially in Africa. Like I said, we only think that the person that is naked on the streets is the only mad person, as we call it. So guys, these are some of the things that as a parent in the diaspora, you will struggle with. Bringing up a child in the diaspora is no easy thing. The power given to kids in the West or in America, in Europe, does not go together with our African culture and upbringing. And honestly, I'm not gonna say that African upbringing is perfect, but I am very grateful to have my African upbringing because it's way better. Though sometimes we will have our flaws, sometimes you will see parents that will abuse kids, you know, and I'm not condoning crazy beatings or abusing your child in any way, but sometimes those little sparks, or the child knowing that somebody is out there that if I do something wrong, they will punish me, and I don't want that type of punishment, plays a good role sometimes, you know. It does play a good role sometimes, and it helps us. And I must say, those kind of upbringings are some of the reasons why we are brought up the way we are and why we turn out to be the great people that we are. Those are the type of upbringings. But here you can't do that because you're being watched, because you can lose your child. Your kids can be taken away from you just by shouting at them. So you gotta be very mindful the way you try to bring up your child, because you don't want to lose them forever. And I don't blame the people that will take their kids back home for African upbringing, because it does help. I mean, take the child, bring them back maybe after they're pretty much matured, especially if the child is stubborn. It's good. Though it's difficult because it's a huge sacrifice. People like myself, I tend to think like, how can I do it? Having my child somewhere else away from me for so long. But if you look at it again, sometimes that time is worth it. I sympathize with the family, and I pray Allah give you guys the heart to forgive and help your family member. But yeah guys, that's just what I wanted to talk about today over what happened in New York about this boy, and also some of the struggles that as Africans we face in the diaspora trying to bring up our children. Yeah, and thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.